So what have I been up to? Still burning these briars off. Y'all might remember I burnt this whole area off of all its tall grass, and most of the briars and thorns burn up, but there's a bunch of patches here and there that didn't. I talked to my chief advisor, Wade Purvis, and he said in this area the summer grains don't do all that well. And I know it's late to plant a winter crop. It's nothing else, it's a cover crop temporarily. But I decided to go ahead and plant my $12 worth of grain. I'll probably, even if I don't get much of a harvest back, I'll probably get my same amount of seed back or more. And if not, whatever. I had wheat. I ordered on Amazon this pack of mixed grains, and it had barley, wheat, oats, and rye. So I looked up what can cross, what can't. Wheat and rye can cross, but the barley and the oats, I think it was the barley and the oats, there's two of them grains I just could not, by looking at them, tell the difference of them. And I looked it up, and they can't crossbreed with each other. And so I was like, well, they look different on the stalk, even though the kernel looks the same. So I'll just let them grow up together and then sort them out. And I planted I guess oats and rye, or it might have been oats and barley right there. I put a little bit of wheat straw from the chicken pen over it to retain moisture. I watered it real good, put charcoal over it, spread some of that soil from the chicken pen, scattered my seed, tossed some wheat straw over it, watered it again. Been burning these patches out. Been doing a little tilling here and there, and see on this end, I'm gonna till all this up, but I got a lot of time before spring, so I'm just taking it bit by bit. And I don't know if y'all seen the other video I made, but I fired that piece of pottery, and that worked out really good. It holds water. I really like it. I don't have a pottery wheel, so I just do it by pinching the dough and everything, the clay. And see, I just rake this little pile into the next little piece of grass and briars. Let it burn off. Also adds carbon to the soil. Gotta add that carbon. Charcoal has a lot of surface area, and you know the topsoil is really like the most important part of the soil in the garden. Most of the crops roots don't really go that deep into the ground, and there's a lot of surface area in charcoal. It's like adding a lot more topsoil than it looks to add charcoal. Where's that piece of pottery I was gonna show y'all? I might have left it in the truck. Oh, and I mulched this a little more, you know. Extended the road a little more. Chopped on some trees in the woods for firewood a little more. Watered the garden. Hey! is that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Here it is, right here. It holds water. I dipped it down in water. I was so nervous about that. I was like, oh, it looks good, it sounds good. But watch me put it in this water and it leaked, but it didn't. It didn't leak. And I probably should have let it cool down a little longer than I did, like slower, cool it. But I didn't have no problems. I put dirt over the embers for a little while, but I got impatient. I didn't leave it for a day. I went ahead and dug it out. There's a small enough piece of pottery, it didn't hurt it. I want to show y'all, like, look, at this progress though. Me not knowing how to do this. Got some salt in this one. This is day one, you know. I got these pieces of pottery. The next day I do it, I crunched up one of these into powder that I had, mixed it back with the clay, molded it into this and fired it, and look at there. It's got, I don't know if that's mica that was in the sand, some kind of mineral, but it's some kind of shiny little, it looks metallic, little pieces of, I don't know what that is. And you know, clay's porous, some carbon got in there. I don't know what these are. I don't know if that's from the ashes. And I just am not going to pay what the hardware store charges for clay pots. They're charging way too much money. So YouTube is like free college. They teach you how to do everything. Of course, you got people on YouTube that don't know what they're talking about and people that do. So I just watch a lot of different videos and just test and see what works and what don't. I've had these chickens pinned up because I'm planting grain and they scratched it and ate it. So they're not free to roam today. I need to clean up this place. Been working, I got tools everywhere. I need to clean it up before it gets dark. But I went live. I took a break. My back's hurting really. Oh, I know something I was gonna show. We were on a job site doing gutter. I think it was gutter. It might have been a garage door. I don't remember what it was. And they had these palm trees that make palm kernel oil. You can use oil for lanterns, and they put it in food. And I don't know that it's healthy to eat it, but people do. But anyway, it could be used for soap and everything else. And I read about how to germinate it, and it said it needed a wet area. So I put it in this trench, and they have germinated. I totally forgot. I just thrown them in the trench. I said I'd go back and look later. And I forget what I was doing over here. And I noticed them. They grew. So that's a new resource. Every useful plant. Like right now, if I get sick, I got willow trees for medicine. Wade Purvis showed me today that those sweet gum trees, those little green spiky balls, he showed how to take alcohol. You can make a flu cure from it. You know, thyme is antibacterial. Got the rosemary, got lavender. Mostly the lavender is for the bees. You know, I plant a lot of fruit trees and a lot of herbs, and most of them have double purposes. Most of them are food and medicine and a nectar and pollen source for the bees. The tarp isn't going to last forever as a pond liner. But before I bought the $100 pond liner, I was using this cheap tarp. Breathing a lot of smoke today. I got that. That's an even cheaper pond liner there. But it'll dry rot in the sun if it stays there long enough. So I'm going to get this little shallow pond empty. Been watering the trees from it. It's amazing how much water is there. I dug it real deep in the center. But I've been taking water and taking water and taking water, and I haven't noticed a drop in it. How do you plant a tree? Well, it matters what kind of tree it is. Different trees are different. But where the root flare is on the tree, where that first root, where the root spreads from the tree, you know, the trunk, you don't want to plant that first root that deep in the ground. You want it almost at ground level. You want to dig the hole for the tree bigger than the root ball, because you want to soften up that dirt. You want to mulch that tree when you put. Now, what I would say is when you dig that hole for the tree, you'll have a lot more success establishing trees if you do this. When you dig that hole for the tree, before you put that tree in the hole, go ahead and put a lot of water in that hole. Go ahead and soak all the ground under that tree. That way, when you plant that tree, those roots can reach down into the ground for that water. You know, because if you plant the tree and then pour water over the tree, there may be dry air pockets in there. And some of these trees, I didn't know what I was doing when I planted them. I planted them too deep. And then I learned, oh, I ain't supposed to plant them that deep. And I started scooping the dirt around them and planting different, and collard greens. I did not plant much of a garden this year, like vegetable garden this year. I did last year. Well, I did but not in the fall, not for fall or winter. I had squash, corn, peas, all kind of stuff out here in the spring, but I mostly was just planting lots of fruit trees and blueberry bushes and keeping them watered. And at the time, I didn't have much free time, and I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew. I had enough to water. It took enough time to water all the trees I had that it just, but it's going to be different next year. Next year, I'm gonna have something growing year round as far as vegetables. I've got different seeds for cold weather and hot weather. I'm probably going to put some more wheat straw. Most grain can come up from a thin, like I wasn't even gonna plant this till spring, and I'm kind of too late to plant it to where it ain't gonna have as big of a yield, but I don't care. It can be a cover crop. I got enough grain seed to plant 4 areas that big. I don't have a lot. I just bought a $12 pack of seeds off of Amazon and mixed grain. But, oh man. A few, I guess I'll do a video where I'll plant a tree one day. It'll be a while. To see, most of them trees cost me $25.99 a piece when I bought them. And I don't really plan on buying too many more trees that, you know, that big. I'm going to start cloning them and planting the seeds. But I can, you know, these peach trees, I would normally go ahead and prune them open center. Like cut this piece out and let it open up to let air flow in. But the reason I haven't done it is I'm waiting till the summer. And in the summer, when the summer gets here, I'm gonna cut off I'm gonna cut off the bark all the way around. And that little thin layer, the cambium layer, I forget what it's called, right up under it. And I'm gonna put rooting hormone on it. And I'm gonna put, I got some moss, and I'm gonna wrap it up, and it'll sprout roots. And then I'll cut this part off, and this bit will be a whole new tree, a whole new peach tree. It'll be this same variety. It'll be a clone of this Florida King peach. And then I'll probably plant it, because, you know, a lot of peach trees, they need other varieties to be real fertile, and I've got a different variety there, and there, and I'll probably put it right there. Everywhere where you see a tree, there used to be vegetables, a vegetable garden. I plant my vegetable garden, and then I plant trees and herbs behind it, and I move where my vegetable garden is. Like where that little orange, these little orange trees, I don't know if they're gonna make it through the. I might have to dig them up and put them in the greenhouse because they're so little, but I don't know. I might just try to keep them in the ground. See that little orange tree and that little orange tree? This used to be pink eye peas, purple whole peas. This whole area where you see all this lavender and there's a few orange trees here. When I had my purple whole peas in this area, I planted a few orange seeds in between them, and that way when I go to water the peas, I'm watering the orange trees. Even if I forget about them, they're going to get watered when I water the peas. But the peas are an annual. You know, they're only here for a year. And then I harvest the peas. Now the peas are gone and the orange trees stay. And, you know, the lavender, you know, the bees that go to the lavender and everything. I don't see, yeah, this is a little bit of the pea plants, what's left of them. I didn't even pull them out of the ground because there's a network of beneficial fungi that makes a web that's connected to the base of all these roots and living off these roots and moving nutrients between the plants. So I didn't disturb any of that. I'm gonna come back in here. If there's a frost or something, I'm gonna cover them up. But you know, when I come into spring, I'm gonna come around here and I'm gonna mulch all this area. And there's a little orange tree there. Some of this space, you know, I'll probably plant peas in this area. And then I'll put some more orange seeds in there, you know. All them pine trees there, as I expand, I'm gonna cut them out. I own between Commerce Street and Oxford Street, that triangle, I own all the land in between it. And most of that is young pine trees. And I'm gonna expand in that area. Most of my older trees are this way. Most of my hardwood trees are that way. I'm slower to cut trees down in that direction. Really, I don't want to cut any of the trees like that border the property and on the road, just to provide a little more privacy and a windbreak. Those tall trees there have got to go though. One day I'm gonna cut them out because they shade this area too much. I mean, it ain't really bad enough that I've noticed any problems. I don't know. I don't like the shade. It's less. It'd be better if I cut them down. Pine trees are so common here. It's not like I'm gonna miss them. I got plenty of them. There's a magnolia tree. I took a branch on a magnolia tree at my house and I bent it down 2 different years, you know, because I couldn't do it all at once or it would break. But I got it to bend down and touch the dirt, and I covered it up with a bunch of pine straw and magnolia leaves, a little bit of dirt around it, and it sprouted roots. And the roots of that, one of the roots goes way out there, way out there, way out there. It had a lot of roots. And then I cut it off from the tree and planted it right there. And then I forgot about it. I had piled up all kind of wood and all kind of junk in that area. I figured it'd be a good place. You know, that magnolia tree will get real tall, but it's far enough away it won't fall on my building. The chickens will probably love it, you know, one day. Trees will grow a lot faster than you think they will grow because a lot of people don't really water their trees enough. And a tree, if it's not getting enough water, it's not always going to die, but it'll stunt its growth. There's see that cedar tree? There's a cedar tree right there. My Uncle Powell, my great uncle, people told him that when he planted that cedar tree, he would never live to sit in its shade. And he did. It got really big. And my granddaddy also planted one. And he, you know, that tree got huge. All his grandchildren climbed it. There was swings in it and everything. But a tree will grow a lot faster if it's getting the light it needs, the air it needs, the water it needs. Every now and then when I walk down here, I grab one of these scrap pieces of wood. It's got all kind of rusted, bent up nails in it. And I throw it onto here and add to the bridge. One day it's going to rot. I'll go get my nails. I'll reforge them. It'll take a lot of charcoal, but they can be melted down. They could just be heated up and bent back and cooled down in water too. But I know where they're at. And what time is it? It's 5:03. I know Brittany gets off work at 7. The water is out to here, and all these leaves that have fallen in there have kind of dammed it up, but see, I'm working on the balance. I don't know who's watching this stream and who watched the others. I mean, I know Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and whatever, but I don't know if what videos y'all seen before this, but this didn't used to exist. I dug this all out. A lot of it by my actual hands. A good bit of it with post hole diggers, a shovel, and a pickaxe. But I'm very happy this year. This year, I was able to get a lot of time to work on it. And I really got a good grade to it to where I really like how much water it's holding, and it's not leaving too fast. Or too slow. I don't know how much my little clay retaining wall is going to help, but I have seen less sand get washed in the rain after I did that. I was going to add more to it, but I worked out here a lot. And I've took a break from it, and I've been really spending a lot of my work time carrying water to my trees. And now I'm pretty satisfied with how much water's on the trees. This I really need to bring more clay into this area and build this up a little more, but my back just ain't ready for it yet. I pulled a few muscles in my back, and I'm just gonna have to wait till my back. And then swinging the hatchet so much. Really, I need to just go ahead and tighten up the chain on my chainsaw. Sometimes there's a snake that come up here, and a turtle. I was looking at it because, this also didn't used to be here. I built this body of water. And it's just full of mosquito fish. Now that first pond, when you first walk down the hill, it's got so many. If I just put a net in the pond at random, I will always catch mosquito fish. And if right now it's the fall, a bunch of leaves have fallen in the pond. They've broken down. Their minerals have given the pond kind of a brownish tint. There's pollen floating on the pond, and just looks all dirty. It's hard to see them. But earlier in the year, when the water was more clear, you could just see thousands and thousands of them. The chickens have learned they can eat them. This here, because I'm redoing the pond liner, I'm moving it, I'm shifting it where the other two pond the pond liner is over there. I'm going to move it closer to my fruit trees. But then where they used to be, dang, you've grown. You bigger since the last time I seen you. You done got big already. I don't know how close I want to put my hand to. Oh shoot. I mean to snag your web. Dude, you got... I mean, I kind of like that he set up here, though. You can catch the mosquitoes if there are any. I don't think that this is a big enough cavity in here. You know, this ain't 2 liters. I don't think it's big enough for bees to take up in it, but just in case, I got the entrance facing east. Dirt daubers will probably get in that. I have also, I'm not gonna, it's just not really worth the labor to come out here and build on this island anymore for a while, because it's like the least important of things to do. I really have no need for an island. I don't know why I built an island. It feels good having an island and standing on it, though. Feels good. Looking at that pine straw floating on the water, it just makes me want to bring the rake out here and rake it all up and pile it up to build up the island. I'm just really taking a break. Walking. I just like to walk through the woods. This, you can make really strong rope out of this. It's a really tall grass. This grass, let me put this around. See this grass right here? It's pretty tall. I'll probably come out here with the scissors and cut a bunch of it for the chicken pen. I might just rake up a lot of these maple leaves, but I don't want to put too much pine straw in the chicken pen. Say that it can cause respiratory problems in a lot of birds and reptiles, too much pine resin. I was gonna walk back around that way, but I'm just gonna come this way. I'm just gonna go on top of this. A lot of times I'll see a box turtle or a rabbit. A lot of times there's a rabbit on the deck. Is that the black crane? Oh, my camera ain't zoomed in though. Where'd he go? Sorry, this camera doesn't zoom in as much as my other one. And that is that black crane. There was always a white crane that would come visit my pond. And then this black crane moved in. But he's very shy, they both are. He probably wanted to come fly in my pond and eat out all them mosquito fish. But if he sees me, he flies away. If he's low to the ground and he goes to take off, he's noisy. He makes a lot of noise. So I thought I'd probably see a rabbit. That's the pond I'm talking about. Full of mosquito fish. There's the other neighbor's pond. Walk back this way. An oak tree fell over here, and I'm probably going to cut it up to make lye for soap. There's a sweet gum tree. Too bad I don't still have them shiitake mushroom spores, because I could have inoculated this oak. I think it's an oak. It ain't too long fell over. A lot of them are leaning from the storm, and just eventually there's enough rain or wind blows on them and they fall, they tip over. But you know, that's the most dangerous part, is cutting a tree down. I bet an animal would love to get up under that. Over there where the willow trees bend over, they almost make living huts just naturally. All them willow trees that, I've got different kind of willow trees on the property. The black willows, they grow straighter and taller, but there's another kind of willow, and it grows like an umbrella shape, and there's a fox den up under it, because he can just go up under there and naturally be shielded from the wind and the rain. So he built his den right. See where the water drains off my property and goes under the road and goes out into their pond. If the water level ever gets high enough, baby fish from the pond, their pond, try to swim upstream. And once they get up closer there, the force of the water is just too strong. They'll never swim. They'll never swim into it. But I come down here one day and there was little baby catfish minnows and bass minnows. And I caught some and put them in the pond. I put 2 largemouth bass in the pond and forgot I done it. But I wrote it down in a notebook. I saw the note a few days ago. And my brother Noah, he put a bass in the pond to, no, I don't know, 5 or 6 bluegill. And it's already crawfish and mosquito fish for them to eat. Thing with mosquito fish is, though, they're small, but they form big old schools, and they will harass, like, most fish eat them, because most fish are bigger than them. But then when them bigger fish have babies, mosquito fish like to gang up on them and harass them, try to kill them while they're young. So that metal pole, that's the surveying pole. I don't know if the squirrel will dig them up, but I've put a lot of acorns out here in a row, a little ways off, maybe about 3 foot from the border on to my side. You see this pole, and see there's that other pole right there. Imagine just a straight line cutting straight all the way across. That's the border of my property. If you go walk right through the woods there, that'll put me back at that little shallow pond where the island is. But this is the border of my property. If I go over on the other side, that's Johnny and Kim. So, cutting straight across here all the way to the dirt road to Oxford. Then everything in this triangle, almost 7 acres, not quite 7 acres. And I've been doing the math on it, and I've been looking at how much water I got in the soil, and I'm pretty sure the land can support me. If I really develop it, it'll make more food than I can eat, more food than me and Brittany can eat. I wanted to make a little more than that too. I wanted to make enough to pay the property taxes. I wish people didn't throw their trash out their vehicles and fly off the back of their truck. I'll get out here and pick up some of it. They'll send the prisoners down here to pick it up. And the prisoners will do it for cheap just to be safer. They really need to... Oh, it looks like a woodpecker might be trying to make a home in that dead wood there, that fallen pine tree. There are so many woodpeckers on this property. I just love, you know, I've been from here to that sign to a fox. And I just love that, you know, like just when I walked over the hill, we saw the black crane. I seen a lot of buzzards today. Somebody off that dirt road, they threw a dog wrapped up in 2 dog food bags, and I went over there and tried to bury it, and it was just older than I thought it was, and it just was too terrible. I had to evacuate. Just couldn't do it. I don't drink, so I don't know. See, my property is like the first property on the left before you really get into the city of Alamo. And so a lot of people that are drinking and driving, they throw their alcohol out the window. That's Irish whiskey. I don't drink, but if I did, Irish whiskey is pretty good. But I barely ever walk out here and would notice anything on this side. What the heck? That's a shotgun shell and it ain't mine. It's old. That's been here a long time. That ain't nothing new. That's probably, I just ain't never noticed. It's probably been here ever since I bought the place. Almost a decade ago. Maybe a decade ago by now. I ain't really kept up with it. So I gotta check the weather and make sure that it's warm enough, which I know it's warm enough. It's not too cold. I need to do a hive inspection on these bees soon. I also need to take a machete to all this area. It's getting overgrown. See, I might need to put them in a 10-frame box, but I don't think they'll have time to fill it out. It's done too late. They ain't flying in and out. It's too late for all that. Done went to bed. I have, with a lot of charcoal, got it hot enough to melt glass, and it just, the glass, stick something to it and it pulls up like a bunch of strings of melted glass. You know, would melt that down and make something out of it, but it's probably worth more as a bottle. There's a canteen that can hold water. Well, I'm probably gonna get back to work. Hey, I'm at OG. I'm the only one here. Yeah, you are. Thank you. But not too much water. You need to have sun. Oh, yeah. What is my biggest tree? The biggest tree on this property is probably a maple. There's a lot of maples on this tree that are really big. I've got olive trees that are little, and they're a slow growing tree. And I don't know why no one has planted any. You know, we've been in this country for hundreds of years, and ain't nobody thought to put an olive tree in Wheeler County, Georgia before me. What took them so long? They should have done planted them. Here's one of them. Coming into the fall, I'm gonna need to reweed and mulch every tree I got, just about it. This is a Spanish olive that's self-fertile. I don't know how to say it, like Arbequina or something like that. You can make a tea from the leaves that has medicinal properties. There's a lot of things that if you grow, you'll get an extra crop. Like if you grow coffee, they make a little fruit that the coffee bean is in. Same thing if you, there's a little fruit that's with cashews. But there's a lot of things that don't have a long shelf life, or you can't really ship them, or they're just not profitable. And so we never see it in the grocery store, but if you have the plant, you can get more resources. Like a peach tree. The peach tree makes the peach. And there's food in that peach. But the peach tree also makes pollen and nectar for bees. But the peach tree also makes a resin, a sap, that can be used to flavor foods. Just like the lemons and the limes and the orange trees. It isn't just that you've got the orange as a fruit. You've also got it as a nectar source and pollen source for bees. You've also got the leaves can be used for teas and food flavorings, and the peeling of the orange. Now in the store, you don't want to eat an orange peel because they spray it with poisons that'll give you cancer and everything else. But if you have your tree and you haven't sprayed that orange peel with any poison, there are a lot of flavonoids and antioxidants and vitamin C in an orange peel, way more than is in the fruit itself. That is just really good at preventing cancer. Well, thank y'all for watching. And I'm about to get back to work and clean some of this stuff up while I can see before it gets too dark. The sun's about to set. And then I'll till up a little bit, and then probably be time to pick up Brittany. Y'all have a good night.